Need insurance coverage that's built for speed? Frank Yea's office in South Charleston has your back. Whether you're blazing down the highway, protecting the home you've built, or setting up a legacy for your family, we've got the coverage you need. Auto, home, life, fast, simple, and made for you. Scan the QR code on your screen now to explore all our services and start a free quote today. Lock it in, save it for later, or call us at 304-744-7700 to get started.
Basket can't defend. He's got the outside line for the second part, and he can't hold on.
Going the long way around. We're going to be 3 wide for the lead as they all come to the line. Who is going to take it in the end?
And here comes Lockwood. He's going to make the move to the outside. Quinn tries to force him off a little bit, but there he goes. It's going to be side by side through turn 1.
Will he be able to cover him off? He does. Weaving back to the left-hand side. Reynolds is trying everything. The kitchen sink is being thrown at it.
They're leaning on each other. Coming into turn number 3. It's going to be a drag race through 3 and 4. Coming back to the line. Here comes Trish on the bottom.
Richard's going to hold the inside. Tries to be the late breaker here. They're going to be side by side through the final chicane. They bang doors, but keep it clean.
As they're still 4 wide on the run down into the back straightaway. Demerit's looking for a line as well. What is going on in Michigan?
Novak into the fence. They're still beating and banging. And to the line.
He is much faster coming through there. Is there damage on Challenger? Abramitis is ahead. There's going to be a race to the line. Who is going to get it?
Mr. Worldwide to infinity. You know the roof on fire. We gon' boogie, oogie, oogie, jiggle, wiggle, and dance like the roof on fire. We go drink drinks and take shots until we fall out like the roof on fire. Now, baby, get my booty naked, take off all your clothes and light the roof on fire. Tell her, baby, 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 I'm on fire. I tell her, baby, 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 I'm a fireball.
With more than 1,000 palm trees and a Caribbean color scheme, the facility projects a South Beach flavor that distinguishes Homestead-Miami from every other major racetrack in America. It took a while longer to get the right combination for the racing surface. In its first iteration, the track had 4 separate low-banked corners, reminiscent of a mini Indianapolis. That configuration failed to promote good racing and unfortunately also provided bad crash angles. Widening the aprons failed to correct either of these problems. A major reconfiguration of the track in the summer of '97 brought a more conventional layout, sweeping 180-degree corners at either end of the oval. Close, but still no cigar. Most of the recent work on the track, during which the track assumed variable banking up to 20 degrees in the corners, flattening to 3 degrees on the straightaways, has done the trick. Everyone agrees at Homestead-Miami the beauty is now more than skin deep. Tonight, it's race number 2 of the PSRA Open ARCA Series, and it's next on Track Limits Network. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the virtual Homestead-Miami Speedway, race 2 of the season number 2 of the PSRA Open ARCA Series. Let's take a look at the race details for tonight. 115 laps the distance, 83-degree ambient temperature, 72% humidity, partly cloudy skies, 12-mile-per-hour breeze, track temperature at 86 degrees Fahrenheit. Drivers working with a full fuel load tonight, unlimited tire sets as well. No fast repairs to speak of this evening, and a competition caution coming at lap 30. Practice just about wrapped up here at the Speedway. Derek Welch, your top time here with 2 minutes remaining. 31.930 the best time. Matt Nicholson, Bobby Jr., Will Jones, and Will Hewitt, your top 5. Sun beginning to set here in Homestead-Miami Speedway. Again, no fast repairs here tonight, and there are some penalties to speak of. Will Hewitt, Frank Griffith, and Scott Millard all have penalties that will disallow them from the qualifying procedure here tonight. All related to incidents at last week's event. Just about 10 seconds left in the session. We'll see the black and red flags fall on practice. We'll get right into qualifying immediately thereafter. And that's it. The one of Derek Welch, top time in the session, 31.930. Let's keep an eye on that time. Only driver to get below 32 seconds. Again, possibly some draft involved there. We'll see how qualifying plays out for all these drivers tonight. Seems Derek Welch not wasting any time. He's going to hit the track right away here in qualifying. Derek Welch on the clock here at Homestead-Miami. Again, fastest in practice here, not wasting any time. We'll see what kind of time the one can lay down here in this session. Likely a threat for pole. Welch across the line, 32.679, not lightning fast that we saw in practice, but still another lap to go. Is up the racetrack right against that safer barrier. Alan DeFries goes P2 with a 33.067, likely a throwaway. We're going to stick with the one here. Hunt goes P2, 32.933. Pretty quick first lap for DW here. Back across start-finish, lap 2 in the books. Does he get there? A little quicker, but still in the 32s. 32.411 puts DW Derek Welch, provisional pole sitter for the time being. Bobby Hamilton Jr. on the clock. Oh, just barely scrapes the wall in the middle of 1 and 2. That may invalidate that first lap. Good thing he's got a second option. Lap 2 coming up. Bobby Feather in the throttle just a bit through turns 3 and 4. Trying to get a real good exit here. Again, lap 2 likely to be the money lap here for the 25. Meanwhile, Will Jones has gone top of the board, 32.327. Cole Dansley outside pole with a 4.02. Welch back to third. Bobby Hamilton Jr. off of turn 4, crosses the stripe. Where does he land? Fourth quick, 32.413 for the 25. Now James Benge in the number 32. Current top time, Will Jones, 32.327. Bench goes 32.821 on his second lap. Now Tom Barish sits 16th. He's working out of 4. 32.851 his first lap. Looking for improvement here across the stripe. And must have got a piece of the wall there. Lap 2 not registering in the session. Josh Ingram, number 56, winner from last week. First lap for Ingram did not register within the system. Again, likely some contact out there or some type of issue. Still out there for his second lap. And unfortunately, he's not going to get it in. His time expires. Only a 5-minute qualifying session here tonight, so that'll wrap things up for qualifying. It looks like it's going to put Will Jones on pole position. With that said, let's get to it. We'll take a look here at our starting grid. On the pole position, as we said, the number 46 of Will Jones with a time of 32.327 seconds. Outside pole missed it by 28 thousandths. It's the number 99 of Derek Runge. Row number 2, it's the 86 of Cole Dansley and Derek Welch. Row 3, Bobby Hamilton Jr. and the 13 Bradford Aeroworks driver David Bradford. Row 4 will be the 15 Track Bar Motorsports entry of Vincent Short with Dominic Bettini to his right elbow. Row 5, it's the 100 entry of Nick Hunt. Starting 10th will be Peyton Wagoner. 11th starter, it's LZ Daly. In the 6th, Matt Nicholson will start 12th. 13th starter, it's Rodney Roberts. In the number 9, Tom Pinnell will start 14th. 15th starter, it's Alan DeFries. 16th, James Bench. Tom Barish will start 17th. Mike Babinchak, 18th. 19th starter is John Van Blaricon. 20th, Will Hewitt. Chris Klein will roll off 21st. 22nd starter, it's Keenan Kimber. 23rd belongs to Mark Truxell. 24th, Jason Steptoe. Frank Griffith rolling 25th. Eddie Rose, 26th. 27th starter, it's last week's winner, Josh Ingram, not able to get that second lap in qualifying. And Gary Wright, shotgun on the field, the number 44 in the 28th position. It's your starting grid here from Homestead-Miami Speedway, waiting for a couple of drivers still to get gridded up here. Derek Runge, Rodney Roberts, Tom Barish, Chris Klein, Gary Wright. Again, sun setting here at Homestead-Miami Speedway. We'll take another look at the race details. 115 laps the distance this evening. 82-degree ambient temperature, 74% humidity, partly cloudy skies. Breeze coming down slightly, still 11 mile per hour. 84-degree track temp. Drivers working on a full load of fuel tonight. Unlimited sets of tires available over the wall. No fast repairs. Count them, 0 zip zillage. And I believe 1 attempt at a green-white checkered finish, if so necessary. In fact, we'll double-check that here right now. 3 attempts. 3 attempts if necessary. Field working the backstretch will be green the next time by. Front row, it's going to be Will Jones. He'll start from the outside lane of that white Monster Energy number 46 with Derek Runge, the number 99 to his inside. Pace car makes that hard left turn down into pit lane as we're ready for the start here
green
from
flag.
Miami Speedway. Barney with the green in hand, and it waves. We're off and running.
Caution's out.
And we got trouble already.
thoughts on pitting or
Fastest
staying out
in
at all?
practice, Derek Welch in trouble in turn 2. We got a melee out here just at the exit of turn number 2, the beginning of the backstretch. 5, 6, 7, 8 plus cars involved here early. Lap 1 chaos here at Homestead. Vincent Short involved as well. He'll try to get righted and drive away, last to leave the scene. Man, oh man, oh man. Now let's take a look. Oh, Welch just up on the top of the racetrack. Rear end steps out into traffic. David Bradford's going to get into this. Vincent Short, of course. Watch it again here. The one will step out of line just a bit. It'll start to come around. He'll try to correct, but tank slap goes up the racetrack. Nowhere for David Bradford to go. Same story for the 49 machine of Dominic Bettini. And everybody else just trying to take evasive action here. Josh Ingram going to come in and take a lick as well. It's going to be some front end damage on that 56. Big change. Really changes things up. With that, we're going to take a very short break. We're going to step aside here. Actually, no.
Going.
All right, they're going to wave off the restart here. We'll step aside, get a quick break out of the way. We'll be back for the restart after this.
Need insurance coverage that's built for speed? Frank Yea's office in South Charleston has your back. Whether you're blazing down the highway, protecting the home you've built, or setting up a legacy for your family, we've got the coverage you need. Auto, home, life, fast, simple, and made for you. Scan the QR code on your screen now to explore all our services and start a free quote today. Lock it in, save it for later, or call us at 304-744-7700 to get started.
Back at Homestead-Miami Speedway, trying to get this one underway. We had roughly a half lap under the green flag before trouble in turn 2. Derek Welch losing the race car, correcting it up the racetrack, pounds the safer barrier, and unfortunately, being the first lap of this race, a lot of drivers piled in after him. At a minimum, it's Derek Welch, Vincent Short, Nick Hunt, Frank Griffith, Peyton Wagoner, Tom Barish, Mike Bavinchak, Alan DeFries, Eddie Rose, Mark Truxell, and David Bradford, all involved in this in some form or fashion. Let's try it again. Pace car is going to make the left into pit lane.
Green flag.
There we go. Green back in the air. Into 3 and 4 for the first time in anger. Jones had the lead, but Bobby Jr. going to the bottom of the racetrack looking for the race lead. He may have room to clear off 4, and he does, but not by much. Jones going back to the whip. He'll look to the outside here, trying to build a run out of turn number 2. We'll see how much of that carries down the back straightaway. Jones crosses down, now to the bottom, now to the top, looking to the right side of Bobby Jr., now to the left. Jones to the inside, going into turn number 3 here, looking for the race lead yet again. Jones hanging out of the top spot for the time being, about a car length, maybe 2, back to Bobby Hamilton Jr. He'll run those tire tracks for the time being. Meanwhile, behind them, the 51, Chris Klein under pressure from the 10 of Matt Nicholson. Nicholson goes to the bottom of the racetrack. The U-Haul 51 is going to lose his spot here, back to P7, though he is up 14 starting positions from the beginning of this race, likely due to that first lap caution. On board with Matt Nicholson. Nicholson just outside the top 5 in P6 as there's a battle between Roberts and Runge just ahead of him. Roberts getting in the wall just a bit with that right side. Both those drivers scraping the right rear on the wall on corner entry. Oh, a little loose is Nicholson. Klein going to go back to the inside here. Still not clear. Puts the 10 in the fence here on entry to 1. I thought Klein might have thought he was clear. Started to come up. Might have made a little bit of contact with Nicholson. Either way, the 10 ends up in the wall. Likely going to be upset here. He has a big run out of 2. He'll go back to the inside. A great battle here for the 6th spot. Nicholson gets it back. I think Klein May just gave it to him. Didn't want to cause any more problems. I don't think that was an intentional push, but either way, don't want to get those tempers flaring too early. Meanwhile, out front, the battle for the lead starting to shape up again. A car length between Will Jones and Bobby Jr. Jones goes to the bottom of the racetrack. Bobby up top. Let's go on board here with the 46. Jones doing his best really to keep that thing low on the racetrack now. Kind of run in the wake. Force the wake into Bobby Jr. Kind of arrow block just a bit. Bobby's going to step out again. Bobby's through. A slide job for the 25. There might have been some contact there. Jones crosses over back to the inside into 3. This is a great battle for the race lead yet again. Oh, Jones loses the bottom, slips up the track a bit, gets into the 25. Real loose goes Jones off of 4. He saves it through the paint. But now Bobby Jr. will confidently take the top spot. Cole Ansley will jump up into P2. Derek Runge now 3rd. Jones slots back into P4. Bobby sees the 86 coming with a head of steam. Changes lanes for a moment. Now goes to the top of the racetrack. Colt now to the low side. They're side by side through 3 and 4. Bobby's going to have the run out of 4. Notice in the last couple of laps, at least on the exit of turn 2, maybe even 4 as well. Bobby exits way up at the top side of the racetrack and then quickly pulls the car down about a car width off the wall. We watch our top 3 here, single file. Top 5 really all single file. The 4th and 5th drivers of Will Jones and Rodney Roberts kind of by themselves. Into turn 1 and 2 though. 3 different lanes being utilized as Bobby's on the bottom, Colt was in the middle, and Runge was up top. They all single back out on corner exit. On board with Cole Ansley as he's trying to fend off Derek Runge. Derek's going to have his hands full now. He's got Will Jones taking a peek, but no, the run out of 4. Runge will be able to drive back on by. Oh, Runge gets the wall. That's going to break his momentum. It's going to give Cole Ansley a bit of a break as he's still running about 3/10 behind the race leader, Bobby Jr. Lap car coming through. It's the 13 to David Bradford. Bradford involved in that first lap incident. Bobby Jr. way up the racetrack, right rear, scrapes on the safer barrier. Ansley got a nose in front, but a big run out of turn 2 for the 25 is going to keep him ahead of the 86 for the time being. Coming to lap 20 here at Homestead-Miami Speedway. Again, expecting this fuel load at a full tank here, roughly 50 laps the fuel window. With that first lap caution, I say we'll put you at about 55 instead. Ansley losing some ground as he loses a couple of spots now as Runge gets clear. Roberts goes through as well, and Will Jones about to apply some pressure again also. Real loose off of 4, though. The middle of the corner, not a great spot there for the 46. Really having to work hard to keep that car from coming around. Top 5 all grouped up in a line here into turn number 3. Cole Ansley way up the racetrack here again, probably by design, trying to find a place where the car is going to handle its best. Seems to have been a little bit of a struggle for some drivers out here this evening. Kind of expected on cold tires, but we're 23 laps in here, so the driver's really hunting around for a line that's going to work best for them. Right now, though, Bobby Hamilton Jr. enjoying all that clean air out in front. Not having to worry too much about any of that. Everybody else behind him, though, in that wake. Derek Runge closing in on the 25 of Bobby Hamilton Jr. Drove it in deep into turn 1 there. Has a good run here out of turn 2 into the backstretch. Right there into 3. Bobby drives it way up the racetrack. Now to the bottom goes the 99. Bobby hangs on to the spot for now, but a battle for third between Roberts and Ansley. Colt was alongside the 9 for a minute. Have to suffer and tuck back in behind for now. Jones, though, running in P5. Again, Will led laps early here, but a near miss off of 4. Almost lost the car completely. Straightened it back out and held on to it, but he's been about 5th ever since. As the change for the lead happening right now is Derek Runge to the inside of Bobby Jr. again, but will Bobby have the run out of the corner? Lapper just ahead. Looks like that could be Eddie Rose of the Pabst Blue Ribbon Mustang. Supporting the sponsor right now, Eddie. I'm drinking one as we speak. Eddie trying to stay clear of the leaders. They go to the inside. Hamilton maintains the top spot. Runge still hounding the back door of the 25. Bobby hanging on to the lead still. Runge still just trying to find a way to get around that 25. He's got a fast car. In fact, the last lap, almost a full 10th faster than our current race leader. Just can't get that pass completed. Let's go on board and see what Derek Runge is seeing from his perspective. Oh, real loose in the middle of 4. Has to hang on to it. Runge just gently scraping the right rear on the fence. Runge is there. Runge now with the lead, but for how long is Bobby Jr. back to the inside? Meanwhile, Rodney Roberts has taken the opportunities. These two battle for the race lead. He's been able to close in. Cole Ansley has slipped back to P5. Jones now up to 4th, and still this battle for the lead continues. Runge on the throttle here in 4. Dirt tracking it out of the corner. Now Roberts to the inside of Bobby Jr. Runge, the race leader, is clear of the 25, and Bobby's having to deal with the 9.
Caution's out.
Yellow on the speedway. Competition caution just as Runge takes over the top spot. Top 10 is Runge, Hamilton Jr., Roberts, Jones, Ansley, Klein, Hewitt, Truxell, Nicholson, and Benge. Again, if I'm pronouncing these last names wrong, someone help me out. I'm going to keep going this way until I hear otherwise. So Runge will pick up the stage win. Not necessarily a stage, competition caution, but they knew it was coming. Runge wanted to get there first, and he did just that. Now, I don't know if this caution was triggered manually or if Jason Steptoe had an issue. Let's double look here. Did Jason have a problem? Oh, tank slap off of 4. He did have a problem, but the caution was coming out. So pit stops underway here, Homestead-Miami Speedway. Derek Runge will lead them down pit lane. Looks like Keenan Kimber stays out, or does he? Might be a glitch. Well, we got the opportunity here. We're going to pull the driver, that number 9, up into the broadcast booth. Get a word with Derek Runge. See his feelings on the race so far. Derek, it's Steve in the Track Limits booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. How you doing?
Doing good, Derek. Nice job there late in this, I guess you could call it a stage competition caution, coming at lap 30, getting around the 25. Lots of work involved there. Walk us through it. Car looked a little hard to handle, but you had some pace in it.
Yeah, I was starting to get a little bit tight and a little bit loose on the other end, so I was kind of just trying to work it over, but I seen Bobby was having kind of the same problems there, so just kind of waited for my moment, and he gave me the outside on the front stretch there, coming to the white flag for the stage, so just kind of took it and ran after that.
With this, our only planned stage and an expectation of about 50 laps on fuel, do you think the tires are going to make it the full run?
I think we might have a few more pit stops here, just depending on how the cautions fall. Tires, they're wearing good, but they will wear out eventually, and I think people that do take tires will probably reap the benefits here.
All right, Derek. Well, we're on to one to go. We'll let you get back to work, man. Thanks for chatting.
Thank you, sir.
It's Derek Runge. winner of the stage here. He'll restart. He'll take the outside. Looks like the front row is going to be the 99 and Will Jones in the 46. Pace car is in.
Green flag.
And there it is. Green flag in the air. Derek clean out of turn 4 ahead of Will Jones. He's going to lead the lap after the restart. Roberts third, Ansley fourth, and Will Hewitt up to P5. Bobby Jr., meanwhile, back in P6, but he's trying to take that back from the 33. Bobby to the bottom of the racetrack. He'll get clear of the 33 of Will Hewitt. Does he have room to slide up? He thought about it, but a big run for the 33. Hewitt looks like he may have checked up to let Bobby in. He'll run on the back bumper to the 25 for now. Meanwhile, batter for the lead, Will Jones, who was good and fast on the new tires earlier on in this race, applying pressure to the 99 for the race lead. Meanwhile, Cole Ansley scrapes the wall into turns 1 and 2. Rodney Roberts in the wall as well. And again, a 3-wide battle in behind the leaders. Bobby Jr., the meat in the sandwich. Cole Ansley was on the bottom. He'll tuck back in, go to the top. Will Hewitt will take advantage. He'll jump to the inside. Hewitt tries to put the power down, slips up the track. A little bit of contact with Cole Ansley, shoots Colt up the track. He's in the marbles, trying to keep it out of the wall. Just kisses it a bit off of turn 4. Back in the gas, however. He'll fall back to 8th. Hewitt now in the 5th spot, up 15 positions from the start. Remember, he had a penalty, could not qualify, started in P20. Now Bobby Jr. all over the back bumper of the 9 of Rodney Roberts, and Will Hewitt jumping on a line. He wants the spot. Seeming to be a pretty common sight to see, these drivers scraping the right sides of their race cars onto this safer barrier, whether it's corner entry or exit, sometimes even in the middle of the corner. So we got a battle for the lead. Will Jones dives it to the bottom of the racetrack, trying to take the top spot. Runge will battle back to the outside, hammer down off of turn 4. Does he have the run? Coming to the stripe. I don't know who would have won that one. I think it might have been the 99. Doesn't pay any money, doesn't pay any points. It's not the last lap, but it certainly looked good. Will Jones now gets clear of Derek Runge. Derek's trying to cross over as Jones has to chase the race car in 4, but now Derek with the same problem. They're side by side again. Another photo finish at the stripe here at lap 42. Now Bobby Hamilton Jr. sticking his nose back into this race for the race lead. 3 wide. Bobby on the bottom, Derek in the middle, Will Jones up top off of turn number 2. Bobby unable to get it done. Jones hangs on to it, but now Rodney Roberts will climb up into the second position. Roberts makes a move to the inside on Jones. Drives it deep into turn one. Slips up the racetrack a bit. Jones up and against the wall as well. He'll have the run. Rodney Roberts had to check up a little more than he anticipated. He'll lose the second spot too now to Derek. Now more. Getting freight trained on the outside as Bobby Jr. and Will Hewitt get by. Hewitt not quite clear. So Will Jones with the lead. Runge second. Hamilton Jr. third. Fourth, Rodney Roberts. Will Hewitt fifth. Looking for more into one. Drives it way down the bottom of the racetrack. Nowhere to go for Will Hewitt. Oh, Rodney Roberts and Colt Ansley in trouble. In the grass. Colt going back up the racetrack. He'll save it, and we stay green. Wow. Rodney Roberts and Colt Ansley may have come together there. They're now back 12th and 13th. Let's try and get a look at this. See the 9 to the outside, in behind Will Hewitt. Colt Ansley further back. Oh, Hewitt checked up considerably. Roberts gets into the back of the 33, which upsets his race car, sends him down the track, and then Colt Ansley gets into the back of him. But again, we stayed green. So back out front, Will Jones, Hamilton Jr., Derek Runge. Now it's Chris Klein and Will Hewitt, the top 5. The 10 of Matt Nicholson creeping into that mixture as well, with Mark Truxell not too far back in 7th. 16 cars still on the lead lap. The last one of them, Thomas Pinnell in the 07. First car 1 lap down, the 55 of Mike Babinchak. Bobby Jr. chasing the race car, real loose off of 4, but he keeps the hammer down. The 99 was making a move to the inside, but Bobby able to drive around and get clear again. Couple of lap cars up ahead. I think one of them might be David Bradford, the other possibly Jason Steptoe. Bradford will go low on the racetrack. Derek Runge real loose in 4. Seems to be Calamity Corner here tonight. Steptoe's going to drop to the inside here, make room for the leaders as well. Still Jones, Hamilton Jr., Runge, Klein, Hewitt, the top 5. Real good battle here for second. Runge just inches off the back bumper of the 25. Chris Klein closing in as well. Bobby now putting some pressure on the 46 as he's way up the racetrack. Now Jones slips up the top. Bobby switches things up. He'll go to the low side as well. He'll get clear. Let's see if we see a crossover here from Jones. Indeed, we do. Jones to the bottom of the racetrack trying to take the lead back from the 25. It was short-lived for Bobby, but now he's going to battle back around the top. He's there just enough that he can't get the 46 clear. He's real loose again, hanging on to it. Meanwhile, Frank Griffith's going to come to pit lane. Once again, a side-by-side battle for the race lead. It's Jones and Bobby Hamilton Jr. yet again. Derek Runge waiting the wings in third. A good run into the corner, closes the gap onto the 25. Will Hewitt there in fourth. Chris Klein now fifth. Derek Runge will drop it to the bottom of the racetrack. He wants the second spot. Gotta wonder if Bobby just burned up his stuff here or if he's just trying to cool the tires down and make another go at it, but he's gonna lose a spot here as Runge gets loose off of 4. Bobby will take advantage and get the spot back as Hewitt tries to sneak his way around the outside as well, but it got a little bit more than he bargained for as he gets the wall. So Runge falling back just a bit. Now Will Hewitt up to P3. .57 laps up on the board. Battle up front still not going away. Cole Ansley is working his way back towards the front as he's cracked into the top 10 after that incident not that long ago. Chris Klein looking to get the spot from Will Jones, and Klein is loose off of 2, saves the car, straightens it out on the backstretch, and he'll continue on. We stay green. Klein's going to lose some major track position as he falls now to the 7th spot. Meanwhile, out front, Bobby Hamilton Jr. with the lead over Derek Runge. Want to go back and look at this. We missed that battle. As soon as we went away, that happened. Let's see. Bobby Jr. getting clear of Will Jones not that long ago. Let's take a look at it. Drives it to the bottom of the racetrack. Jones up the racetrack. And a little bit of contact. Slows the momentum considerably for Jones there. And he loses a couple of more, not just the race lead. With that said, we're going to step aside here. We're just past halfway here at Homestead-Miami Speedway. Stay with us. It'll be a track limit side-by-side, so you don't miss a minute of the action. We'll be back after this.
I met Marcos Garza when we were doing radiothons for St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. We needed sponsors to help us raise money, and he's always the first one to jump in. I would describe Marcos and his team as upstanding, someone you can trust, and he is just a genuine guy.
Marcos has been very generous. He has a genuine concern for people. You need somebody that cares about you. And that's what Marcos is, and that's pretty much what this firm is.
The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
Back at Homestead-Miami Speedway, Derek Runge had taken the race lead back from the 25 of Bobby Hamilton Jr. As you saw just before the side-by-side came back, Bobby pounded the outside wall, saves the car, now still hanging on to that second spot, but maybe not for long. It's Will Hewitt closing the gap. And the caution is out. Keenan Kimber possibly involved in this one, and indeed that is the case. The 65 Bojangles Camry around out of turn 4. Again, it seems to be the place for it to happen, with the exception of Derek Welch in turn 2 on the opening lap. Caution on the speedway for the third time tonight. Second for cause. Let's take a look. did he have help? No, it just starts to step out. And then he gets some help, but at that point, really nowhere for Chris Klein to go. You can't just stand on the brakes. Not a major incident, but it's going to be an opportunity for all these guys to come down, take tires and fuel, of course, but also Bobby Hamilton Jr. may take the opportunity to get a little bit of repairs made to that number 25 machine. Drops the jack and heads back out. Bobby Jr. 14.8 seconds. Identical pit stop time for the race leader, Derek Runge. Runge will beat him out, though, just by the first car to enter pit lane. He gets the advantage. Bobby must have felt he was okay with the race car. Didn't want to worry about repairing anything with that right side impact that he had. He was able to maintain his position prior to the caution. Of course, the crew gets an opportunity to look at the damage when it comes down to pit. Bobby choosing to go back out. So while we have the opportunity, we'll take a look at the running order here. Race leader, the 99 of Derek Runge. Bobby Hamilton Jr. second. Will Hewitt third. Will Jones fourth. Mark Truxell fifth. Rodney Roberts P6. Seventh is Chris Klein. Matt Nicholson eighth. Cole Ansley ninth. 10th is Tom Barish. 11th is the 32 of James Benge. Dominic Bettini and Hunt both 12th and 13th. They're in the pits, though. That may change. As it does, Kimber jumps up to P12. Frank Griffith 15th. That is the lead lap drivers at this point in the game. The 55 of Babinchak 1 lap down in 16th. The first car 1 lap down. Field doubled up on the backstretch here, ready for the restart. Runge will change his mind here, really. He'll go to the bottom of the racetrack for the restart. We've seen a couple of drivers opt to start on the outside. Of course, even the start of the race, they took the top lane. Maybe the driver, the number 99, starting to change his mind or has learned a little bit throughout the course of the run. Maybe the bottom is the place to be. He's going to give it a shot here.
Green flag.
Green back in the air. Mark Truxell having an issue off in turn 2. He straightens it out and continues on. Meanwhile, battle for the lead again. Bobby Jr. to the inside for the top spot. Meanwhile, behind them, we had a great battle side by side. 3-wide battle for a moment. Chris Klein, as Nicholson ends up in the fence. He continues on as well. But Bobby Jr. back to the race lead. Hewitt up there rim riding here, trying to stay ahead of the 9 of Rodney Roberts, and we got trouble. Tom Barish is around.
Caution, caution. How you doing in there, kid?
Barish trying to get it straightened out. Spins off of turn 4. I don't think he hit much, if anything. Car looks pretty clean. Let's go take a look, see what happened here to the 55. Or 055, that is. So Tom just lost it on his own, and it looks like we'll look at this in a minute here. There's another driver who got loose. Dominic Bettini having his own moment. Let's take a look at the 49. Again, this was just ahead of Barish. Klein swapped lanes aggressively, and it caught Bettini's attention. He slides down across the nose of Frank Griffith. Doesn't hit anything really else besides the 54. Continues on. Could see Tom turn the wheel to the right there, trying to correct it. Oh, and he does get the safer barrier just a touch. So a few drivers going to come to pit lane. So tonight's race kind of becoming a race of attrition, not really what we expected, but again, that first lap incident in turn 2, it involved a lot of different cars out there. I'd say almost a third of the field, so that's what's causing this to look a little deceiving here. Only our fourth caution, third for cause tonight. There it is. 1 to go signal given. Field's going to get doubled up here. Half a lap away from the restart. It'll come in lap 78. Bobby Hamilton Jr. has been a front runner most of the night. Sets himself up for the restart here with the 99 of Derek Runge to the outside. Will Jones, Will Hewitt in row 2. Rodney Roberts and Colt Ansley in row 3. Colt able to recover from that incident. Pace car is in.
Ready, green, 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 green.
Bobby gets away clean here. A few car lengths back to the 99. Battle on for the second spot. Will Hewitt right in the tire tracks of Derek Runge. Now into 3 and 4. He'll get to the inside. Bobby hanging out of the top spot. The battle for second continues. Hewitt was unable to get past the 99 just yet, but he's there challenging yet again down the backstretch. He was there alongside in two. Maybe some contact now with Will Jones. As Rodney Roberts jumps, he'll look up the middle. Thought better of it. He'll tuck back in behind Hewitt. Jones loses a little bit of ground, and here comes Colt Ansley into the mix. Three wide again. Roberts in the middle. Jones up top. Ansley on the bottom. Jones excels on that high lane. Gets clear of both drivers. They'll tuck in. In fact, Jones had a big-time run all the way down the backstretch into three. Now he puts pressure on Will Hewitt, who was unable to get clear of the 99, who runs third. Jones alongside Will Hewitt. Hewitt with a better run out of the corner. Bobby Hamilton Jr., I think he has found his rhythm here at Homestead as he's put about a 4 to 3/10 second advantage on the rest of the field here. Still, this three-way battle now. Klein, Ansley, and Roberts. Klein to the bottom of the racetrack. Ansley tried to turn it down, almost made some contact as Roberts gets the outside wall a bit. Ansley loose off of 4. Hangs on to it, but now Klein closes back up. Will Jones also unable to complete the pass on Will Hewitt. Now he's got to defend against Rodney Roberts in that white and blue Sirius XM number 9. Roberts a half car length off the back bumper, but now Roberts has to worry about Colt Ansley. Colt to the bottom of the racetrack. Further down the line here, about 11th position, the 54, Frank Griffith, working to the outside of Nick Hunt. Last week's winner, Josh Ingram there as well. Ingram, though, in 23rd, not on the lead lap. Now Will Jones going after it again here, trying to take this from the 33 of Hewitt. May have it here. He's going to slide job up the racetrack. Will we see the crossover from Hewitt? He's got the run. Hewitt now back to the bottom. This is the battle for third. Jones gets clear. Let's move Will Jones up into P3 now. Top 5 is Hamilton Jr., Runge, Jones, Hewitt, and Roberts. 3 wide yet again. Hewitt losing some ground. Able to hang on to it for now. It was Hewitt, Roberts, and Ansley as Chris Klein slams the wall. Klein keeps his foot in it, continues on. And we've got trouble behind. Oh, this isn't going to end pretty. Do they hang on to it? They do. Frank Griffin in trouble, though. He's up in the fence. Blocks it down the bottom of the racetrack. He will go to pit lane. We stay under green. Now let's back this up a little bit. Try to look to see really what caused all this. We're going to rewind it a little further. There was a lap car in this mix. And actually, I think it was the 54, or was it? No, he wasn't a lap car. He just looks like he got a clip there from Bettini, put him into the fence. Now everybody's trying to scatter. And with the right front down, Griffith just up the racetrack into the fence. Now, in the real world, of course, that would have been a caution, but in the sim world, well, there's really no debris to pick up, so certainly no life hazards to be concerned with. So we stay green and continue to race here with about 25 to go as the leaders approach the line. Bobby Jr. up the racetrack, just turning laps here, racing the racetrack, doing what he needs to do. Derek Runge, though, in that second spot, slowly but surely chipping away at that gap. Top 7, all their own little pack. Rodney Roberts, the only one who stepped out now is Will Hewitt working to the outside. Hewitt up in the wall. Rim riding for sure. Pulls it hard off the wall, and he's got some right front damage. Trying to get a real close look at this, if we can. You can see from here the right side fender on the 33, not looking good. See if we get a better look here out of turn 4. That's going to affect the handling, certainly, on Will Hewitt's Mustang. It doesn't look like a lot, but in a place like Homestead, it certainly can be. Cole Ansley smelling blood in the water here as he rides behind Will Hewitt. Ansley in the 6th spot. Now Chris Klein drives to the bottom of the racetrack. Ansley thought about trying to go around the outside. Wasn't a ton of room to do it, but Klein slips up the track, almost gets into the door of the 86. Klein takes the spot. Colt goes to the bottom here. He'll try and retake the position. Meanwhile, we got a battle for the lead again. Derek Runge was right there. Now it's a car length and a half, maybe 2, from Hamilton Jr. back to the 99 in second. 21 laps to go. Bobby Jr. having a strong run here this afternoon. He's been out front the majority of the evening. Meanwhile, Will Jones to the bottom of the racetrack. He'll look for the 2nd spot. Jones will slot up the racetrack in front of Rodney Roberts. Roberts wasn't going to lift, so he turns left to the bottom. He's alongside into turn number 3, looking to take back that 3rd position from Will Jones. Jones comes around and the caution is out. Oh, big time trouble. Matt Nicholson spinning up the racetrack in front of traffic, barely getting missed. I think Nick Hunt may have been involved in this as well. Indeed, he was. Take a look. So Nicholson way up the racetrack. He gets the wall on the exit of turn 2. Of course, he tries to pull it hard down, and he's going to get into the right rear of Hunt. Hunt corrects. And it looks like Ingram will get into him just a bit. Massive front end impact to the 10 of Nicholson. He spins back up in traffic. Lucky that he doesn't collect anybody else, but a massive hit. Just happy it's a sim, folks. That one would have hurt. Pit stops underway, likely the final stops of the night. And Derek Runge looks like he's going to win the race off of pit lane. This may come down to who picks the correct lane to restart from. I'll watch it again from the onboard. So we'll get the one to go here as they cross the stripe. Next time by, it'll be 16 laps to go to settle it if we run it green to the end. Again, we do have 3 opportunities at green-white checkered finishes if necessary. All right, so front row, it's going to be Derek Runge. He's going to restart to the outside. And Bobby Jr., then row 2, we've got Will Jones and Rodney Roberts. Row 3, it's Hewitt and Klein. Pace car is in.
Green flag.
Green flag in the air. Derek gets away. Bobby Jr. holding off Will Jones for the second spot. Rodney Roberts up top in 4th. Roberts going to look to the outside of Jones. He has the run down the backstretch. Bobby tried to close the door. Roberts never lifted. Roberts will get 2 for 1 here into 3. Bobby might have given him a shot there in the middle of turn 3. Loosens up to 9. He goes 3 wide, but then Bobby gets loose in the middle of the corner. So does Will Jones, and there's contact. Will Hewitt, Bobby Hamilton Jr. come together here on the front stretch, and the caution is out again.
Steps real quick and then tell me what you got.
Bobby lights him up. He'll get back in action here. He might be okay. It looked worse than I think it was. Bobby's got similar damage on the right front as Will Hewitt. I think he'll be okay. So obviously Will was doing okay. Just depends on if he took any suspension damage on that right front. But Bobby now back into P13 here late in this race. That's going to be a tough one to overcome. Let's get a look. Trying to get the best shot here. Oh, Bobby was loose. Slides up the track. I think Will Hewitt adjusted to try and not make contact. Bobby's still trying to save it. They just come together. So caution number 6 here, 13 laps to go. So Will Hewitt, Bobby Hamilton Jr. finishing up some pit work. Bobby getting some repairs done. I think Will Hewitt did the same. Going to restart about 15th. It's not over for them, but the shot at the victory, certainly those odds getting longer and longer. So leaders cross start finish here. We're getting ready for the restart. It'll be 11 to go. Front row is going to be Rodney Roberts and Derek Runge. Runge will be the leader. He'll restart to the outside. Row 2, it'll be Will Jones. And look at the 5. Mark Truxell in contention here late. Row 3, it's the 2 Bojangles machines, Keenan Kimber and Dominic Bettini. Pace car is in.
Green flag.
Runge gets a big restart here. He'll get away by 3 or 4 tenths. Jones gets clear for the 2nd spot. Roberts 3rd. Truxell still 4th. Here comes the 65 now, Keenan Kimber. Rodney Roberts in the wall, right rear scraping the fence, but he keeps his foot in it still. Seen a lot of that here today, but battle for the lead. Derek Runge trying to hold off Will Jones, drives him down to the bottom of the racetrack. They make contact, but neither driver willing to give. Bottom of the racetrack, Will Jones for the race lead here at Homestead. Runge gets real loose, saves it unbelievably. Gets the wall just a bit, though. He'll lose a lot of ground here. He'll slot back now into the 6th position, maybe going to lose some more as Will Jones takes over the top spot with a little bit of breathing room behind him. Cole Dansley now into P2. Keenan Kimber in the fence. Oh, we got trouble now. Will Hewitt. Keenan Kimber in the yellow is out. Derek Runge involved as well. Both Bojangles cars in it. Bettini and Kimber. Will Hewitt also. Runge looks like he's going to tow back to pit lane. Bobby Jr. got a big chunk of this. He's driving it back to the pits, but his night likely over. Let's take a look. So Derek Runge tries to force it up the middle, gets into the 33 of Hewitt, turns him into Keenan Kimber. Bettini gets a big piece. Bobby Jr. just drives through here. He gets a big chunk of this. we got that S4 guy in the chat making a valid point. While we're under caution, we'll reiterate the fact. 25 viewers right now, but only 4 likes. Help us out, guys. If you are watching, hit the thumbs up. That like button, it's free to do, and it helps you more than you realize, helps us more than you realize. Helps us here at the channel, helps the league as well, get some fresh eyeballs on what's going on here at Track Limits. And tonight, it's the ProSim Racing Alliance Open ARCA Series. So help us out, hit that like button. It's easy, especially while we're under caution. Just navigate your way to the thumbs up. Coming to 5 to go. That's when we'll see the green flag. Of course, the pace car lights have gone out. Front row now, it's going to be Will Jones and Colt Ansley. You want to talk about aggression. These two guys are quick on the throttle and brazen with the bumper. We'll see what happens as we go back green flag racing. Rodney Roberts, Chris Klein in the second row, and then Mark Truxell, Tom Barish in row 3. Truxell taking care of his stuff as he tends to do late in the race with an opportunity here. 5 to go at the stripe. Green flag in the air. Jones gets out in front here, but Colt Ansley on the bottom of the racetrack. Not too far behind. Time to get it done. Jumps into the draft of the 46. Now change of position in third. Roberts under fire from Chris Klein. Klein tried to get greedy with it. Wasn't able to drive all the way through as Colt Ansley was there on the bottom of the racetrack, but Klein will take the third spot with ease. Coming to 4 laps to go. Roberts in the fence again. Go back to the race lead here. Jones trying to hold off the 86 of Colt Ansley, 2.5 tenths behind. On board with Will Jones. Klein working his way through. He may have the second spot from Colt. Just what Will Jones wants to see is those two fighting for the second spot in his mirror. Less than 3 laps to go. Klein clear of Colt Ansley up to the second spot. Colt now feeling the pressure from Rodney Roberts. Colt drives it way down the bottom of the racetrack. Wasn't able to get close. Coming to 2 laps to go. Roberts to the inside of Colt Ansley. Ansley doing everything he can to hang on to those spots. They're going to make some contact here in 1 and 2. Rubbing doors through the first 2 corners. Ansley able to hold off Roberts for now. Chris Klein, though, closing the gap, and he gets the wall off of 4, coming to the white flag. Final lap for Will Jones. Jones put the car on pole position. Wasn't able to keep it out front for very long in the early stages, but quickly back out in front here late. Half a lap to go to get the checkered flag. Chris Klein, last-ditch effort up the racetrack, but it's not going to be enough. Back to the main straightaway, across start-finish, checkered flag in the air. Will Jones wins it at Homestead. Second place goes to Chris Klein, and Cole Ansley will finish in the third spot. Mental note, iRacing, can you make the tires smoke the color of the paint? Would be great. Will Jones parks it on the start-finish line. Celebration complete. We'll step aside, get our break out of the way. We'll be back with our top 3 finishers after this. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Need insurance coverage that's built for speed? Frank Yea's office in South Charleston has your back. Whether you're blazing down the highway, protecting the home you've built, or setting up a legacy for your family, we've got the coverage you need. Auto, home, life, fast, simple, and made for you. Scan the QR code on your screen now to explore all our services and start a free quote today. Lock it in, save it for later, or call us at 304-744-7700 to get started.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Back at Homestead-Miami Speedway, race 2. Homestead in the books. Will Jones taking it to victory lane. Celebration in the books. Let's get a word with our race winner, Pull the driver, the number 46, into the broadcast booth. Will, it's Steve with Track Limits. You got a copy?
Yeah, I got you, Steve.
Will, congratulations, man. Strong run here tonight. Fast car in qualifying, certainly. Wasn't able to keep it out in front all that long in the early stages, but just a matter of adjustment to get this car running how you wanted it to.
Well, adjustment and the track cooling down. It was a little bit too loose on the first couple runs, and we made a few adjustments to it. And, got it a little bit better, and then the track cooled down. And then for that last caution there before we come back out, I made air pressure adjustment, and it did pretty good.
Well, you drove it away. Didn't really have much to worry about as those guys were battling behind you in the closing laps. Just a nice low-pressure run to the finish to take the checkered flag. Congratulations, man.
Thank you, Steve. I appreciate it, man.
Looking forward, Phoenix Raceway next week. It's the short track, or is it? It's intermediate, but it's not. I mean, how do you prepare for Phoenix Raceway, man? That place is just very unique. It's a great track, though.
Yeah, I like it, man. We just we'll keep our head down and go in there and try to build us a good setup and see where we at.
Looking forward to it, Will. Congratulations again, man. Who do you want to thank before we let you get going?
Thank you for the broadcast, and definitely got to thank my teammate David Bradford and teammates David, Vince, and Colt. But definitely David, man, he's worked hard this week. He and I got on here earlier today, and we worked trying to get this thing faster, and it paid off.
All right, well, congrats again. Thanks for talking to us, and good luck in Phoenix.
Thank you, Steve.
It's Will Jones, your race winner here at Homestead-Miami. Next, we're going to talk to runner-up Chris Klein. 51 certainly got to be happy about this one. We'll pull Chris into the booth and get a word with our runner-up. Chris, it's Steve with Track Limits. You got me?
Yes, sir. How are you?
Doing good, Chris. Long time no talk. Congrats, man. Second place finish here at Homestead-Miami after I think it was a 21st starting position. Walk us through how this race unfolded for you. I mean, you were in there in the top 5 with an opportunity in the late stages of this one. Couldn't quite get it done, but second place not too shabby, man. Walk us through it.
Yeah, first and foremost, just want to throw a shout out to David Bradford. Really excited to be back in this league. I ran a few races with him last season and then kind of fell out. But he's put our setups together, and I have not run a whole lot of open setups, and got into practice late tonight after getting off work and got in there, and it was just hard for me to do anything with it. So I told Derek and Tom, I said, I'm just going to ride in the back and just see how this plays out. And then I don't know who got in the first accident or what happened, but somehow I ended up inside the top 10 right off the rip. And I was like, oh, this will be fun. I'll probably take out half the field on lap 3 when we go back to green, and just tried to mind my P's and Q's, and was managed to keep the car under me all night, and was a lot of fun, and just always seemed to find myself right back up in the mix of things. And there at the end, I didn't have enough security where I could throw it in the corner any harder. I just kind of had what I had, and I could run that lap time pretty much. But it was fun. It was a lot of fun. Really enjoyed it. Had some good hard battles tonight. A lot of clean racing. Unfortunately, got into the back of Mark Truxell there at one point. Was watching a guy on the inside of me on a restart. I think Mark got a little bit loose off the corner, and he checked up a little, and I didn't see it. And so apologies to him.
Well, with all that said, talking about lap times, just for comparison purposes, the last lap of the race, you ran within half a tenth of race leader Will Jones, and Will was in clean air. So you definitely had something there late, a fast race car, and certainly a good pilot behind the wheel. Going back to David Bradford about the setups, as long as he's got the time to help, he is always happy and willing to do it, and he's very good at it. I've taken some setups that he's provided for some official iRacing stuff in the past, and it's always performed well, even on tracks or even cars that I'm not familiar with. So David, definitely a great asset to this league. Certainly good to hear that. Looking forward, though, Chris, Phoenix Raceway next week. Speaking of setups, how do you set up the car and prepare for a place like Phoenix? It's we talked about it with Will Jones. It's a short track, but it's not really a short track, but it's not really an intermediate either. It's just very unique. How do you get ready for PIR next week?
I don't know. I've never really been good there. Cheat, I guess, is the best answer. Extra downforce, anything we can do to get something we can cut that dog leg where need be, and be able to grab enough traction coming back onto the banking and make the corner without scrubbing the tires to death. I don't know what the answer is there. It'll be interesting to see what they put together for us for a setup and get some practice in this week, and look forward to the challenge of it for sure. I've never been a big fan of that racetrack and have kind of avoided it like the plague, but look forward to it. This is a good group. Everybody seems to be very respectful and kind of look out for each other, so excited about it.
All right, Chris. Well, we're looking forward to it as well. Congratulations on the runner-up finish here tonight. Who do you want to thank before we let you go?
Like I said before, David Bradford for putting on the league with his group. I know Bobby Hamilton's part of that, and Mark Truxell's part of that. Just that whole group over there that's putting it on. And then Derek Welch, as always, for inviting me to tag along with his shenanigans when he finds us the league to go racing. That he's not knee deep in everything, and Tom Barish for being a team member. He's a big help tonight. Gave me the setup at the last minute with a couple little tweaks that they had made that made it a little better for them. So appreciate all those guys.
All right, Chris. Well, thanks for talking to us. Congrats again, man. Good luck next week.
Thanks, Steve. Thanks all you do for us.
It's Chris Klein, your runner-up here at Homestead-Miami Speedway. Next, we'll talk to our third-place finisher, Colt Ansley, who honestly had to do some battling back there to pick up this third-place finish. We thought it was going to be a top 5, but he battled back for, well, I'll use the dreaded word podium. But Colt, it's Steve at the Track Limits booth. You got me?
So far, I got you.
Colt, congratulations, man. Third-place start, third-place finish. As long as you don't go backwards, I guess that's a good day, but it seemed like you had certainly more underneath the hood of that race car in the latter stages. Just didn't quite have enough time to get back up there to challenge with Will Jones. Walk us through the late runnings of this race.
Well, for starters, I'm finishing about 35 positions better than I thought I would. So this is essentially I just won the championship. Man, what a good race. I was made some adjustments on that last pit stop. Will and I both did, and I knew I couldn't beat Will head to head if it came down to that last restart. If I didn't get the jump on him there on that last restart, I wasn't going to get him. But I was hoping the restart before that I could, he might get stuck behind somebody and I make a good run down there on the bottom. My car drove really good on the bottom all night long. I actually struggled a little bit as I started to move up the track, so I just hugged the white line like Kevin Harvick at Atlanta, and it ended up working out. Towards the end of the run, I was killing my right front pretty hard, but it worked out there at the end with those short runs. I was really good on the restarts pretty much all night long. I think I gained positions every restart on the bottom, but I lost positions on the top, so just a bunch of different things fell my way. I definitely shouldn't be up here by any stretch of the imagination.
Well, at the end of the day, Colt, you are. You finished third here. You earned it. It wasn't a luck thing. You started there, you finished there. So I'd say job well done. You're going to look forward now. Phoenix Raceway next week. We talked to Chris Klein and Will Jones about how is it a short track? Is it a mile? Is it an intermediate? What the hell is that place? But let's go back a little further. Scar Super Late Model Champion. That's you. You've got some experience on short tracks. If you think Phoenix races at all like a short track, does that kind of get you a little bit of a leg up next week?
Yeah, it's just all going to be about saving tires. That place is, you asked what it is, it's sandpaper. It is paved with sandpaper. So that's going to be the big key. If you can just keep the tires on it, keep them, relatively circular, you'll be pretty good. Last time I was there, I ran decently, got a win back in the Scar days there. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Setups are going to be tricky. I've ran some laps, and it's tedious to say the least, but it can't be any worse than Homestead.
All right, Colt. Well, congrats again, man. Who do you want to shout out to before we let you get out of here?
I just got to thank Rick Tech for being on the car, Bradford Aeroworks, David for helping. I mean, I say helping. He built the setup for us, and we all went in there and kind of made the little changes that we could, the little that I know how to do it. So big shout out to him. He is teaching me a lot fast, and he's been a big help. Will Jones, congrats to him, teammate getting the win. All the other my teammates, Matt Nicholson and Vince Short, who was running on kind of a handicap setup this weekend, and just everybody at home watching, you for broadcasting, all the guys in the league for showing up. This is a massive car count tonight for here and Daytona, so a lot of cars means a lot of cars to pass, and it was difficult to pass tonight, but it puts on a good show.
Job well done, Colt. Congrats yet again here. Thanks for talking to us, and good luck next week in Phoenix.
Thanks, man.
It's Colt Ansley, your third-place finisher here, Homestead-Miami Speedway. That's going to do it for the interview portion of tonight's broadcast. Let's take a look at our race results. Of course, we talked to our top three. That was Will Jones, your race winner, then Chris Klein, Colt Ansley. Rodney Roberts was fourth, Tom Barish fifth. Solid run for Tom Barish. Good job for him. Mark Truxell came home just one short of that top five in P6. The 100 machine of Nick Hunt finishes seventh. Vincent Short was 8th. Mike Babinchak finished 9th. James Benge was 10th. Again, if I'm saying some last names wrong, please message me. Help me out there. I do appreciate it. We'll get it fixed in the future. Keenan Kimber was 11th. Old Eddie Rose finished in the 12th spot. Dominic Bettini 13th. Will Hewitt was 14th. Derek Runge, strong run for him. Tough finish, 15th. Certainly a disappointment for him this evening. He'll finish 15th, 9 laps down. 16th finish was Bobby Hamilton Jr. Very similar circumstances for the 25. Led the majority of this race. Got caught up in an incident late with Will Hewitt. He'll finish in the 16th spot. Matt Nicholson was 17th. Frank Griffith was 18th. David Bradford, first lap crash. He'll finish 19th. Alan DeFries was 20th. Jason Steptoe, 21st. 22nd, Tom Pinnell. Joshua Ingram went from winning last week to 23rd here tonight. LZ Daly was 24th. Peyton Wagoner, 25th. 26th, John Van Blaricquam. Again, I'm working on the names. Derek Welch, first lap incident also. He'll finish 27th. And last but not least, Gary Wright finishes 28th, 115 laps down. Not 100% sure if Gary actually took the green here tonight. Does not appear like he did, but nevertheless, here in spirit, he'll be credited with 28th. Thank you guys all for tuning in here tonight. Stream chat, not super busy, but thanks to you guys that did check in. Adam Clark, Derek Welch, of course, that S4 guy, Zach Millett. Stephen L. also says, great broadcast, great race. Thank you guys certainly for being here, and anybody watching, if you haven't already done so, hit that thumbs up, that like button, subscribe if you haven't already. We've got over 1,000 subscribers finally, but we've got a long way to go to get to 2,000. That's, I guess, the next goal. Maybe we'll make it smaller. We'll go to 1,500. We'll go halfway there. But help us out. Subscribe, share it, tell your friends. If anybody's interested in sim racing or racing in general, it's certainly fun to watch on the occasional Sunday night after the Cup race. So it's going to do it for us. Congratulations again to Will Jones picking up the race win, his first of the season here at Homestead-Miami. Join us next week, Phoenix Raceway, for more action from the ProSim Racing Alliance Open ARCA Series. Thanks for watching, everybody. Have a good night.